This will be a really quick video on a generator I have for sale. This is a Duromax XP10000EH. This is a hybrid generator, meaning it can run on gasoline or it can run on propane. And I'll kind of go through a little bit of it right now. So why I purchased this one is that it had a 50 amp outlet. So you can basically power an entire house with a 50 amp run. I think it can actually do around 42 or something like that amps at 80%. So it was enough to power the vast majority of things in my house. Holds 8.3 gallons. I bought it new, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, I suppose. From a full tank, off at about 8 gallons, like I said. I had this thing going for about 12 hours, I guess. And then on propane, I only tried it on propane once or twice, but I think a 20-gallon tank lasted us around 10 or so hours. Probably at 50% load, something like that. So you can give you a look at it. It is an open frame, non-inverter generator. So this is not an inverter generator. But you have all your standard stuff. You have a 30 amp, you have a 50 amp, like I said, your regular 120 volt, normal household outlet. You do have circuit protectors, of course. You have the breaker on off, idle control, a battery charger for a 12 volt like car battery if you wanted to also attach one of those to this. This one is key start, so there is a battery as well. You can see the battery is all the way down there in the lower left. At the back of here, I did order this online, so it was shipped. When it was shipped, there was just some bent metal, so you can see that this was a little bit bent, and then the muffler itself, the frame around the muffler was a little bit indented, if you will. And then the cover for this itself, for the generator portion, was a little bit bent as well. So what I did was shield the wires just with silicone. It's been like that for 5 years, never had an issue whatsoever, but this prevents it from, vibrating and the wires touching anything metal, I suppose. Let's see, around the side here. So there you have your exhaust on the left, kind of the muffler with the shield around it. Carb in the middle, or cylinder in the middle rather, carb to the right of that. Beneath that black thing with all the blue tubes coming out of it, this is your propane regulator. So there is no external regulator here. You just simply attach this to any 20 gallon, 30 gallon, 40 gallon, whatever tank you have, and then it's regulated by the generator itself. Let's see, over here you have your pull start if you need it, and then you have your air filter down here. Choke is this guy right here, so choke on off. You have your petcock for the fuel system. Everything in here is new from a maintenance perspective. So new air filters, new fuel filter. Every single line has been replaced to silicone tubing rather than the old rubber tubing that it came with, which was starting to show some dry cracking and things like that. So from your breather, which is silicone, all the way down to those that I just showed, as well as everything else carb related, has all been replaced to silicone. These zip ties you see here are for the hour meter, which I did install day one. Hours on this machine right now are 83.2, and we'll start it up here in just a second. I fully rebuilt the carb as well, so full cleaning, everything works really well on the carb. Should start right up. It is very cold right now, and we're going to show you that. So we're going to do right on the exhaust, and that is 52 degrees, or 51 degrees. So this has not been started at all today. So I'm going to go ahead and set this camera up and try to start it. Starting it's pretty darn easy. When it's this cold out, I do usually come over here to choke and turn the choke to closed, just like you would for really any machine. Make sure the fuel is on, and it is now. You can see the fuel going into the fuel filter. I don't know if that'll pick up or not, but you can see it kind of pouring in there a little bit. Let me stand this up. Pretty simple from here. Just come over and just like a car, start it with the key. Now I'm going to turn the choke off. There we go. Now it's fully running. I think this thing runs at right around 85 or so decibels. It's loud, but it's not ridiculous, so I'll move a couple feet away. I guess we're about 10 or 12 feet away now, so I'm not sure what the noise, seems like, but it's reasonable. You can select between 240 and 120. You do have a fuel gauge as well. So that was her running. You can tell it starts right up pretty quick. That was a completely cold start. Let's see what else. Brand new oil change, so you don't need to worry about that. I have only ever run 91 non-ethanol fuel in this. Even so, I still winterize it every year with stabilizer of some sort. I think I use like ethanol gone or something like that normally. At any rate, perfect working order. I just cleaned it up. I did touch up some of the frame with some black paint just where I saw some surface rust, etc. All the electronics work on this 100%. The reason I am switching it out is I did go to an inverter generator. I have a lot of computer stuff, and the inverter is just going to make my life a little bit simpler. But other than that, it works great. Very high wattage, so it can run a large house with the 50 amp output. That makes it pretty easily possible. This is located in Richmond, New Hampshire, about 10 minutes, 12 minutes or so from Keene, 15, 20 minutes, I guess, from Athol. So pretty easy to get to. That's what I got. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.